The tiniest materials we can experience are within a millimeter to a micrometer. But when it comes to nanoscale, the physical properties change drastically from what we have seen in daily life. According to quantum mechanics, an electron has both particle and wave properties. In the macroscopic world, the particle nature prevails, and while in the microscopic or nanoscale, wave nature prevails. For a material to conduct, electrons have to overcome the electric potential barrier. According to classical physics, if an electron does not have enough kinetic energy, it can never pass through the barrier. But in the microscopic world, the electron does have a small probability of going through the barrier even if it does not have enough kinetic energy. This process is called tunneling effect. A new kind of microscope applying the tunneling effect was invented in 1981. It is called scanning tunneling microscope, or STM. If optical microscope is like our eye, then scanning tunneling microscopes is like our hand. The scanning tunneling microscope is used for scanning conductive surfaces on the atomic scale. The STM contains a tiny hard needle whose tip is only 2 or 3 atoms wide. When a sample is examined, the sharp-tipped needle will scan across the surface of the sample. The surface is kept at a very short distance of just a few nano from it. The needle is at a small positive potential with respect to the surface. Some electrons are able to jump across from the surface to the tip of the needle by tunneling effect. The tunneling current is very sensitive to the distance between the tip of the needle and the surface of the specimen. Thus, by monitoring the changes in the tunneling current when the needle moves across the surface, or keeping the current constant by varying the height of the needle, then the computer can use the data to construct a magnified 3-dimensional image of the surface. Put this sample on the platform, set the level, and then you can put down the needle and start the scanning. Put the graphite into the microscope, then you can see an area around 6 nano. The spot is the carbon atom. The black spot is the pit, and it is the shape of a hexagonal crystal lattice. If we take a deeper look at nature, we'll find a lot of things related to nano. In fact, phenomenon raised by nanoscale already exists in nature. Nanoparticles can be discovered in the environment and found among living things and non-living things. Lotuses usually grow in muddy ponds, but can growing uncontaminated from mud. Their leaves remain dry and clean. When we look at the lotus leaves in detail, we'll find that the water on the leaf does not spread. Instead, water will form drops on the surface of the leaf. These drops move easily across the surface of the leaf and take away the dust and dirt to achieve automatic cleaning. This is called the lotus effect. The lotus effect is actually related to nano phenomenon. Under a high-resolution electronic microscope, there are small micron-sized bumps on the surface of the lotus leaf, which are coated with fine wax nanocrystals. The waxy materials are hydrophobic. Water on the hydrophobic surface will form water drops and not make the surface wet. Bumps on a flat hydrophobic surface will turn it into a super hydrophobic surface. The contact size of water and surface is small because of the bumpy and small surfaces. The water drops will become rounded and roll easily on the leaf. In addition, due to the bumpy surface of the leaf, the particles of the dirt can only stay on the bumpy surface instead of penetrating it. When the water drops roll on the leaf surface, they can wash away the dirty particles to achieve the automatic cleaning effect. Scientists have already tried simulating the lotus effect to our daily applications. For example, special nano coatings or nano paint can be added to tiles and paints to keep the surface of the house or buildings clean and dry. Added to leather, clothes and raincoats to improve their waterproofing and anti-fouling functions. Some butterflies' wing scales, like those of the Paris peacock, have beautiful colors. The interesting thing is that the colors vary with viewing angles. What's the reason behind the different color being observed? It is also related to nano. There are photonic crystals on the butterfly wings. Photonic crystals are periodic optical nanostructures. The structure can operate like a grating system to produce various colors. For example, there are thousands of scales on the wing of the Paris peacock. Each scale is scattered with long, sharp, ridge-like structures. The bottom of the structure is a multi-layer branch-like cuticle, like a big piece of a Christmas tree. The distance between each branch is around 100 nano, and the multi-layer Christmas tree-like structure produced the same effect similar to photonic crystal. It is responsible for the different color in the wings of the beautiful butterfly. A different combination of structure can create different color patterns, and the colors observed vary with the viewing angles. The same structure can be found on other creatures like beetles and the peacock. Pigeons, bees, birds and turtles have the ability to identify direction, so they can fly or dive for long distances without getting lost on the way. How could they navigate without the help of any equipment? It's because they have nanostructures inside their bodies. These nanostructures are magnetic in property. When they are under the influence of the Earth's magnetic field, the magnetic nanoparticles will give navigating function to enable the living creatures to identify directions. Why doesn't a tiny lizard fall down when it crawls on the ceiling? It's because of the van der Waals force. Although van der Waals force is a weak force, there are millions of fine hairs, each with a diameter of a few hundred nano on the feet of a lizard. When millions of nanoscale fine hairs work together, it will produce a very strong attractive force to support the weight of a lizard. Why is spider silk so soft but tough? In fact, it has a very complicated structure. A single spider silk is made of tens to hundreds of crystallized protein fibers in nanostructure. They have very high flexibility, strength and stickiness. It is the strongest biofiber in the world. Nanosubstances already exist in nature for a long time, but humans have in fact unknowingly used them in our daily life. Medieval artisans knew that they could produce stained glass of different colors by adding different metal oxides to the molten glass. Stained glass is a kind of Western architectural decoration, usually found on the wall of a church. Stained glass can also be seen in the Islamic mosques. It can cause dazzling effects when sunlight shines on the glass. At night time, the colorful lights made by lighting created various colors. This effect is caused by the nanoparticles produced in the mixing process. It was these nanoparticles that gave the glass distinctive colors. Nanotechnology was gradually developed 10 to 20 years ago. There was no marked breakthrough, but progressed step by step. We can apply nanotechnology in different areas of our daily lives. Nanotechnology can be applied to building materials like tiles, glasses, and paints to make it with self-cleaning and anti-fouling functions. The common self-cleaning tiles and glass can be divided into two types. One of these applying the lotus effect and using nanoparticles which are hydrophobic as a coating on the surface of glass or tiles. Droplets of water are formed on the surface when rain falls on it. The droplets roll easily, carrying away the dirt to achieve the purpose of self-cleaning. Another type of self-cleaning tiles and glasses is using photocatalyst on the surface. As the advancements of nanotechnology, some nanomaterials can accelerate chemical reaction in the presence of light without themselves being changed. They are called photocatalysts. Two common photocatalysts are titanium dioxide and zinc oxide nanoparticles. When titanium dioxide nanoparticles are used as coating on a glass surface with sun shining on it, the water falls on the surface will become hydrophilic and will spread evenly on it, forming a thin film rather than droplets. Dirt attached in the film of water can easily be removed as the film of water slides down during rain. In addition, when photocatalysts are exposed to sunlight, free radicals are produced. These radicals can break down the organic dirt to produce self-cleaning, sterilize, and deodorant effect. It mainly uses the nanoporous photocatalytic technology. There is titanium dioxide in the yellow solution. It will be turned into nanoparticles after heating in the oven for 4 hours. After that, cover it on the ceramic filter membrane. Both the surface area and the number of pores are increased, and the efficiency of the catalytic reaction is thereby uplifted. This is a filter membrane covered with photocatalyst. Set up the ultraviolet light and then turn it on. When the air passes through the membrane, the ultraviolet light will activate the photocatalyst and it can oxidize pollutants to carbon dioxide and water. And it also can kill bacteria and viruses. This coating can be used on walls, ceilings and glass facades of buildings. Sunlight will activate photocatalytic reaction to decompose the pollutants in the air. It is both environmentally and economically effective. Other common nano building material is nano paint. Similar to nano self-cleaning tile and glass, the hydrophobic nano paint apply lotus effect to achieve self-cleaning functions. Some water-based paint is added with nano photocatalytic particles to achieve the self-cleaning, anti-fouling and deodorant effects. Nano paint employs two kinds of technologies. One is organsilica nanosol and the other is nanoparticles additives. Mix nanosol with nanoparticles to become nano paint. Its advantage is to build up bumpy shapes on the surface by nanoparticles. Nanoparticles additives can bring about the lotus effect so as to make the coating waterproof. They can also be applied to wooden surfaces to form a coating which is highly flame retardant. The paints can be used on different substrates such as metal, glass, brick, clothing, linen, and paper towels. Clean water is essential to human beings. Water is contaminated because of economic growth, and nanotechnology can play a role. Researchers develop materials with nanostructure. It can remove all contaminants so as to provide safe drinking water. Freeze-drying technology and natural materials have been applied to develop a non-porous water filter membrane. We dissolve the substance, refining from organic matter into water. to become a solution. We put it in a fridge. It will become ice-like substance. And then we use freeze-drying technology to sublime the ice directly to vapor. And finally, we get a nanoporous water filter membrane. The membrane has the nanometer-sized pores, so it can filter off the water contaminants at nanometer level, such as virus and bacteria. Nanotechnology has developed rapidly. The products have various applications like carbon nanotube, nano battery, nano building materials, nano filter membrane, smart windows, and ultra-thin display, and so on. On the other hand, nanotechnology has raised safety and environmental concerns. Because of the high ratio of surface area to volume of nanoparticles, they have a very high chemical activity and may cause unexpected reaction to human bodies. On the other hand, the functional cells of the human body have a size much larger than nano. Therefore, nanoparticles or fiber can enter the human body through the respiratory system, blood and skin, or even penetrate into the genes through cell membranes. This will cause genetic changes. In addition, nanoparticles are very active. If they leak out accidentally, they will be spread by winds and water and lead to uncontrollable nanopollution. Nanotechnology has only developed for 10 to 20 years. Up until now, no one can fully understand it. Obviously, some dangers are unavoidable. However, like other technology, when we look at it from both sides, there is danger as well as development opportunities. About the human respiratory system, when we breathe in, all particles inhaled will go to the lungs, then to the arteries, and transportation is carried out under nanoscale. If nanomaterial enters the respiratory system, it will be easily absorbed by human body, and it can be dangerous. Nevertheless, nanomaterials can be used to deliver drugs to certain specific parts of the body or organ. If nanotechnology continues advancing, the prevailing perception and moral concept of human beings will be challenged. Try to imagine when nanomaterials become popular. Undoubtedly, it will replace most of the materials we use today because it's lighter, thinner, more supreme, more durable, and more functional. A display thinner than a sheet of paper. A computer that can fold and be put into the pocket. Implanted navigation system. Implanted nano detector. Nano spaceship that flies everywhere. What would the world be like? The development of nanotechnology is unavoidable. The urgent issue is how to live with it and set up safety standards.